Magla-live lang po. Wait lang po.
Okay, thank you. Diba, umulit ito. Kaya pala si Mapalit, puro, no? Pag-iba sa agenda.
Nagulat ka sa
Haba nila, ito, boss. Kung haba na nila, nasa kilometro lang. Sabi sa akin ang buka dumaan ng content. Nandiyan ako sa opisina, nagbukas siya.
Live. Naka-live.
Ano po yan? Excuse po na Then the consultant po is online. Nasa traffic po siya sa
So, i-recognize natin. Okay, at this point, we would like to recognize the presence of the consultant who are participating online from DJNB. Certain Georgie, can you please open your camera?
Diyan saan yung camera ko?
So, isang company lang po yan. And and another also from DJMB consultancy, walang pangalan, can you please open the camera? Georgie and a certain walang pangalan eh. Paki-open lang yung isang sumali.
Yes, sir. Noted po. Actually, nasa
Traffic. Okay.
Huwag na po.
Okay, anyway, they are properly recognized, so we proceed na. Thank you very much.
So travel time is
wala kami presentation dito.
present power.
Sige po.
Okay, present. Ikaw, sino ang present?
Ikaw na.
Okay, Director Marinvic, before the presentation of Engineer Anet will present first.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-bid conference for the consulting for the assessment of travel time along the Nautical Highways Rebidding. The mode of procurement or evaluation is through quality-based evaluation. With a technical score of to pass 60 points. The approved budget for the contract is 34,925,461, inclusive of 5% contingency. Needs exceeding this amount shall not be accepted. This contract has a duration of 10 months. Consultant is reminded of the following contents of your technical proposal that the back for consulting services shall be checking using the pass-fail criterion during the preliminary examination of bids in accordance with section 25.2C of the 2016 revised IRR of RE 9184. The bid security in the prescribed form, amount and validity period. Organizational chart for the contract to be bid, the list of completed and ongoing contracts, approach, work plan, and schedule, provided, however, that for architectural design, submission of architectural plans and design shall not be required during the consultant selection process. List of key personnel to be assigned to the contract to be bid, with their complete qualification and experience data and omnibus term statement in accordance with section 25.3. Please be reminded also on the deadline for submission of the proposal, both technical and financial, on November 21, 2024 at 8 o'clock a.m. And the schedule of the opening of technical proposal is on November 21, immediately after the deadline for submission of proposal on November 21, 2024. Bids and bid security must remain valid for 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids or until March 21, 2025. The bid security shall be limited to bid securing declaration or at any other form in accordance with the following amount. 698,509.22 or 2% of the ABC if the bid security is in cash, cashier's manager's check, bank draft or bank guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit. 1,746,273 or 5% of the ABC if the bid security is in the form of surety bond or bid securing declaration. For surety bond, it must be callable upon demand, issued by surety or insurance company. It must be accompanied by a certification from the Insurance Commission that said surety or insurance company is authorized to issue such security. The certification must be original and specific for this particular project. Please, for the shortlisted bidders, please be informed that taxes under bid data sheet, ITB clause 11.5, 15% withholding tax on gross amount of local currency, 12% value-added tax on local remuneration. Taxes prescribed by the Bureau of Internal Revenue Regulations number 14/2018. Please take note that consultants should anticipate implementation of any tax measure to be imposed by the government or to consider such in their proposal portion. The cost of bidding document is 25,000. The bidder must submit one original and 7 copies of the first and second components of its bid and soft copy in PDF form of the technical proposal only stored in any electronic device like flash drive, CD, DVD, ROM, and must be submitted along with the hard copies of the first and second component. The address of the submission is at 5th floor, room 502-A, Consultancy Services Division, DPWH Central Office. So I will like to turn the microphone to the enlister for detailed information as to the requirement of the contract.
So good morning to everyone. So for as an introduction, what is travel time? I will repeat sir yung title ng project to be reviewed is Consulting Services for the Assessment of the Travel Time along N1 and Nautical Highways, which is already. So travel time inclusive of stops and delays represents the total elapsed time for a vehicle journey between 2 points over a specified route. And travel time studies are utilized to assess traffic conditions and plan improvements in the transportation system. Also in line with the Ambition natin 2040 and the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028, DPWH uses the Performance Governance System or the PGS as a comprehensive tool to holistically assess and manage the department's performance in policy planning and program implementation. Now, under this PGS strategic plan for 2023 to 28, which DPWH now branded as Infagenda 2028, the accomplishment of the department are measured through a set of performance indicator. And in this PGS scorecard, which is aimed to enhance the capacity of priority corridors, particularly N1 and nautical highways, the measure is in terms of reduction of travel time in percentage of hours. So next, the coverage. The coverage will for the consulting services, the assessment of travel time will focus only on N1, National Road 1, which is actually the Maharlika or the Maharlika Highway, and also the nautical highways. So per DPWH Department Order number 128 series of 2023, the target reduction travel time is projected to be around 4% and 8% in CY 2025 and CY 2028 respectively. Now, the department's consulting services aims to establish the guidelines for assessing the travel time on these corridors, the N1 and the Nautical Highway, in line with the PGS commitments, focusing on the reduction of travel time in terms of percentage of hours reduced. What are the objectives of these consultancy services? First, is the formulation of the new travel time and delay survey methodology to measure outcome one, reduce travel time which is in the DPWH PGS scorecard. Number two is the assessment of travel time reduction along the N1 and Nautical Highways corridors as input to the FY 2025 DPWH PGS commitment. And lastly, in terms of capacity, one of the objective is to capacitate the IOs on the application of the new travel time and delay survey methodology, and also the central office. In terms of scope of services, the consultant shall carry out the following tasks for each objective. One is the formulation of the new travel time and delay survey methodology in terms of the review and analysis of the existing travel time survey methodology. Number two is the formulation of the new travel time and delay survey methodology. Number three is the provision of technical assistance on the application of the new travel time and delay survey along these corridors, as the output of which will be used to calculate the reduction of travel time, which is part of the outcome one indicator of the DPWH PGS. And number four, prepare the data management manual that will contain the procedures for validating and storing of travel time and delay survey data. Number five, prepare the preparation of the quality management plan that will ensure and maintain the quality of survey instruments, survey methodology, data processing and management, health and safety, and other necessary procedures. Number six, preparation of the calibration validation report, ensuring the quality and accuracy of survey instruments. And last, procure applicable survey instruments for comprehensive project analysis and data analytics inclusive of 1 year of maintenance. Now, on another scope of services of the consultant is in terms of the assessment of travel time reduction in N1 and Nautical Highways as inputs to the FY 2025 DPWH PGS commitment, which will include the following activities: conduct pilot travel time and delay surveys using the new methodology, utilizing the survey instruments and software applications derived in the first scope of services. Number two is to recommend a software application. Number three is update and improve the travel time and delay survey methodology based on the results of the pilot travel time and delay survey. Also, to conduct the final travel time and delay survey for corridors N1 and Eastern Nautical Highway, which has a length of 3,175.587 kilometers, and then along Central Nautical Highway with the length of 422.089 kilometers, and the Western Nautical Highway with a length of 1,072.579 kilometers. The grand total of which is 4,670.255 kilometers. This will include all completed bypasses, diversion roads, and expressways, skyways along the mentioned three corridors. So the next scope is to prepare and submit all collected survey data of the travel time and delay surveys, both the pilot and the final. And next is to provide the final report on the travel time and delay surveys conducted, including the generated geographic information, system maps, and shape files. Provide a report that includes maps and matrices to assess the travel time reduction on N1 and Nautical Highways, measuring the percentage reduction thereto as input to the PGS scorecard. Now, another scope of services is the capacity building on the application of the new travel time and delay survey methodology. With the following activities. One is to provide trainers trainings on travel time and delay survey to the staff of the planning service. Number two, the consultant shall include strategies for training program, knowledge transfer strategies, and a planned exit strategy to ensure that the department staff are prepared to stand alone and sustain the changes of the conclusion of the changes at the conclusion of the consultancy services. Now, next is the deliverables. On the general deliverables, they shall submit updated work plan and schedule for the draft within 3 working days from the start of the project and the contract, and submit also the final work plan within 5 working days after the consultant addresses the comments provided by the planning service. Next deliverable is the submission of the exception report within 10 working days from the start of the project or the contract. And then thereafter, they shall submit the monthly progress report every 5th working day of the month after the acceptance of the exception report. And lastly, the submission of the final report within 35 working days for the draft, within 35 working days before the end of the contract, and the final report within 10 working days before the end of the contract. For the next deliverable is the quality management plan, wherein the draft report will be submitted within 5 working days after the start of the project or the contract, and the final within 5 working days prior to the start of the data gathering, prior to the start of the data gathering. And then next deliverable is the calibration and validation calibration/validation manual and report, which shall be submitted within 10 working days prior to the start of the data gathering. And then the survey methodology, the draft report of which will be submitted within 5 working days prior to the start of the pilot survey, and the final report within 10 working days prior to the start of the final survey. Next deliverable is the data management manual. The draft will be submitted within 10 working days prior to the start of the pilot survey, and the final within 10 working days prior to the start of the final survey. They shall also submit the survey data, the raw, the process data, the GIS maps, and shape files within 10 working days upon completion of the surveys for both the pilot and the final surveys. And then the travel time and delay survey report for CY 2025, they shall submit within 10 working days upon completion of the surveys for both the pilot and the final surveys. That's for the deliverables. Now, for project details, the consulting services for this assessment of travel type along N1 and nautical highways is for rebidding. This has an approved budget for the contract or the ABC in the amount of 34,925,461 pesos. Duration of the consultancy services shall be from January 2025 to October 2025. For the key stock, the consulting services, there will be a project manager which will also act as the team leader. So the duration in terms of months is 10 months. Another key staff for this project consultancy services is the transport planner, which will also have a duration of 10 months. And the IT specialist, also 10 months. So the total number of personnel will be 3, and with the equivalent of a total of 30 months. For the qualification of the proposed key personnel, for the project manager or team leader, he should be a registered civil engineer, a transportation engineer, or urban planner. For the transport planner, it should be a registered civil engineer, a transportation engineer, or an urban planner. For the IT specialist, it should be a BS, a Bachelor of Science degree holder in computer science, information technology, computer engineering, or any discipline related to the position. For the experience of the key personnel, for the project manager or slash team leader, he should have 10 years experience in technical and or feasibility studies and or methodology formulation slash transportation and or traffic impact assessment and or traffic engineering, or urban planning or transport economic and or traffic engineering studies. For the transport planning, you should have a minimum experience of transport in terms of in terms of experience in being a transport planner, a system analyst, a transport planning consultant, traffic modeler, transport specialist in feasibility studies incorporating travel time and delay surveys, and or traffic data analysis, and or transport and road master plan development, and or transportation planning and or urban planning and or traffic simulation. For the IT specialist, you should have a minimum years of experience of 5 in programming and or scripting and or data analytics and or system analysis design and or implementation of database management systems and or operational systems and GIS applications projects. That's all. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Meron po.
Sorry.
15 yung kanina.
P3.
Identify nyo na lang.
Check na lang.
Okay, thank you. Sige.
Also, please be reminded that your request for clarification must be submitted or emailed at least 10 calendar days from the deadline of submission or until November 11, 2024. And a bid bulletin will be issued containing the responses to clarification and amendments to the RFP if there are any not later than November 14, 2024. Then the minutes of pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 calendar days upon written request. That's all and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Director. At this point, I would like to recognize the presence of personnel from DJNP who are here present. This is Isidro Alicen.
Ay, nasa taas.
Basil Basic.
Ayan po.
So, are there any questions for or clarification for the discussed data by the proponents? You can also send your clarification or question as discussed by Director Marikina until November 11.
No more further questions, sir.
Okay, no more question. About the members.
One comment lang. Why director sila? Ma'am, yung mga yung mga districts na nasa ano na yun, nasa term of reference na yun. Katulad nung kasi may nakalakita ko kanina. Every 15 working day pag-submit ng the report. Nandun naman yung sa POR, hindi na babago yun. No further comment.
Move to the
Okay na po. Ulitin ko.
Imumove ba siya? Terminate na lang natin.
Okay, being no question from the present who are here, from the consultants, I think we have to terminate the proceedings. So the proceeding is terminated for action. Thank you, Annette. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yung online, for those who are online, you can now check out.
Not out.
Like out, yes.
Thank
So
you
we
po.
go to, yes, thank you. Thank you. So we go to the next is for the Summer Pacific Coastal Road to Friday.
Ay, ito po. Ano mo?
Okay,